Hello, everyone. Welcome to 3 o'clock with Stock. Give me just a second to welcome our Spanish-speaking neighbors onto the Spanish interpretation line. Buenas tardes, gracias por estar aquí con SOC. Como siempre, ustedes pueden escuchar esta información en español a través de nuestra línea de interpretación. Y el número que hay que marcar aparece aquí en la pantalla, 646-749-3122. Y luego hay que introducir la contraseña, cual es 779-328-221. Thank you for giving me that second to welcome people onto the Spanish interpretation line. That's also in the comments. And then also just be reminded that if you can't be with us right at 3 o'clock every day, we have our videos that has the interviews with our guests and lots of information always available on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. So if there's ever any time that you want to see who we've been talking to throughout the week, you can always access those on our Facebook and our YouTube. I'm Gabe Charles. I'm the program manager here at Southside Organizing Center. Happy to be with you on another Monday. And we have a great guest for you all today. We're going to be talking with Jonatan Zuniga to hear about the April election, the spring election, to get just a quick debrief and see how things went, and then talk about any upcoming elections that might be happening, special elections that might be happening in 2021, and then if not the elections in 2022, what might be happening for those. And I just want to see if anyone's saying hi. If you're out there watching, go ahead and say hello. We would love to hear from you. We have Trine saying hola, hello, thanks for commenting. And if at any point throughout the live you have any questions, that's what our comment section is for. And there will be different comments coming on throughout the interview and the other sections that we have for you all as well. So just pay attention to the comment section as always, and please say hi, give us a thumbs up, a heart, whatever it might be that you all want to do to show you're watching with us. And with that, I'll go ahead and bring on Jonatan so we can hear about this spring election.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Gabe. Thanks for inviting me again here to the SOX Forum. It's always great to share more about the elections with the community and our Southside residents.
Yes, definitely. And we love that you have a connection to the South Side as well. So it feels even more special to have you on with us. So thanks for spending that time with us.
Of course.
So why don't you, as always, we just love to have an introduction. Let us know who you are and what you do, a little bit about your role with the Election Commission, and then we'll get into it.
All right, yeah. So I'm Jonatan Zuniga. I'm the Deputy Director of the Milwaukee Election Commission. I started here in July. And kind of previously, I worked at Lane Boulevard West Neighbors, working community organizing, community development with a lot of residents and partners on the South Side. And raised and still live in the South Side, so it's I guess I love that I still get to work with all the partners and residents as well. So and kind of my main job here, my responsibility is overseeing the 173 polling locations that we have right now. So that's everything from coordinating the sites to the equipment, the supplies, the poll workers, everything that goes into planning election day at our polling sites. So with this last election, the spring election of 2021, I gotta give a big shout out to our staff because we had another, smooth election and worked really hard to have, fair, accessible, and transparent elections. So we are a staff of 9 here at the Election Commission that we are tasked with, administrating this election, and it's a big job. And I have a big shout out to the staff again. Everybody works so hard to make this happen, so that voters have access to the right of voting. So yeah, I don't know. Quick intro. So I don't know if you had any other specific questions.
Yeah. So thank you for that intro. And yeah, on our end, things seemed pretty smooth. We always have a day-long vote-a-thon on major elections. So we were on Facebook Live all day, just there to answer questions for anybody. And we didn't have any people commenting, saying that they ran into any issues. So it seems smooth on our end, but what kind of, update, or what can you just tell us about this election? Good, bad, neutral, whatever it may be.
Yeah, so we had 173 polling locations. We had around almost 1,400 poll workers, which is still a big deal considering that we're still in a pandemic. Another big shout out to all of them, especially the chief inspectors who are the supervisors at each polling site. And I get to work closely with them, and it's really inspiring to work with them because it's a big responsibility that they have overseeing a polling site and making sure that poll workers, voters have all the information they need, that they're following the election law. And some of them have jobs, some of them are retired, but all of them do it because they care so much about elections and serving Milwaukee voters. So that's always great that we're able to make that happen and count with all of their help on election day. And then in terms of voter turnout, I was looking specifically at the near south side. So we're thinking about 6th Street to 39th Street, Pierce to Oklahoma. And the voting wards are not exactly right with those border lines, but just looking at those, it's about 46 wards that I quickly look at data. And for those 46 wards, we're talking about around 7% voter turnout. So from the number of voter registrations that we have at each ward compared to the actual ballots cast there. So that's the south side around 7%, and citywide we saw 15% of voter turnout. So on the ballot we had state superintendent, we had judicial offices, and then we had the municipal judge and school board races as well. So if we compare that with 4 years ago to the spring election of 2017, which is kind of the same offices were on the ballot back then, the South Side saw 7.69% of voter turnout. So a little bit of a decrease there of around 200 votes, but just kind of points to consider too, and on that ballot, the school board races for District 6 and 7 were contested compared to now they were uncontested. So 6 and 7 is mostly on the south side. And the municipal judge contest was also contested the office there. So a little bit of a difference between 2017 and 2021. So I think, and of course the pandemic, it's another factor right now that even though, we've tried really hard to make it as safe as possible to vote. We have all of our poll workers with N95 masks. We provide face shields, plexiglass at the voter check-ins, and then also all kinds of hand sanitizer, surface disinfectant, alcohol wipes, and all of that to make sure they disinfect areas. But yeah, so those are some of the statistics. I think now it's the time that we are going to get into planning and analyzing data, not just from this election, but from November as well, more specifically, and looking at that data and analyzing it so we can be ready for 2022.
Definitely. Thank you for making that comparison to 2017, because that's definitely something I was curious about. Given all of those factors that you said, I think it definitely makes sense to see a little bit of less of a turnout. And we know that non-presidential elections always see very low voter turnout, unfortunately. And that's part of why we do what we do at SOC, trying to get people information and remind them that even though it's not a presidential election, these local elections are equally as important because they affect us in different ways than the president, right? But in a very local and more intimate way, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
And so once you analyze data, and obviously a lot of what you will do in the future comes from what you find from that data. But are there any, looking to 2022, are there any plans that the Election Commission wants to implement to try to find new ways of reaching voters and making sure that they get out for these local elections?
Yeah, I think, we already, even last week, started to strategize internally of a plan for 2022. And I think, among those, there's a lot of things, right? Having early voting sites around the city for all of the elections, right? During November, we had 15 voting sites. We probably can't do all 15 for every election, but definitely having more on the south side and north side, other than the Zeiler building. Doing more data analysis, doing more also restructuring internally to make sure that we are collaborating with partners. I think that's where moving forward, it's going to be key in that collaboration with community partners that are on the ground and that are trusted voices in the community and the different neighborhoods in Milwaukee. We can invest money in social media ads or billboards or radio ads, and I think that's all good. It raises awareness of the election, but at the end of the day, what's going to really drive voter turnout or get somebody to go out and vote is someone who they trust, informing them about the election, and motivating them to go out and vote. Right? It's we've all experienced this during elections where we get a lot of text messages and phone calls from different organizations that are stranger to us, right? And it's they might raise awareness and they're good, but at the same time they're at the end of the day they're strangers. So like that power that they have, it's limited compared to a family member, a neighbor, or a community organizer who helped that person get resources for housing or workforce, right? They have that relationship, they have that trust, and getting an email or a call from that person who they trust is way different than a stranger, or even seeing an ad on Facebook or something. So I think that's one of the key things I think that will moving forward is getting that data analysis, but sharing that with community partners, providing organizations like SOC all the information you need to work with voters on the ground. So I think moving forward, that's going to be key.
Definitely. We would obviously agree with that, and that's reflected in a lot of the work that SOC has done and will continue to do. So one of my last questions, we have a representative on the South Side, Silvia Ortiz Velez, who now has two different positions that she represents. She's a county supervisor and then now is in state level assembly. So what will that look like in terms of having a special election, or will she just hold that position, that double position, until 2022 when there are more scheduled elections? Or how does that work when there are people that have two different, that represent two different positions or offices?
Yeah, so I would have to look specifically into that state law in that chapter to kind of give you a definite answer. I believe that according to state law, there is no requirement on our end, and even that so it's a county position, so that would go through the Milwaukee County Election Commission. So it would be a little bit different than compared to the city, where we really administer. Well, we administer for the whole city, but specifically candidates for school board, aldermanic, the city, controller's office, or the mayor, all of the city offices that we administer. It's a little bit different than in the county, but
for sure,
they would have to, if she's in that position, to let it go, or having probably the county executive call for a special election like he did for this for the county supervisor district 12, right, that we recently had, because one of the county supervisors got elected to state representative as well, and for his district. So then he let that vacancy. So if she hasn't left that vacancy, I guess the county executive hasn't called for a special election.
Yeah. Thank you for explaining that. We always appreciate having people understand what that process might look like. So thank you. But other than that, I think you answered all of the questions that we had. I haven't seen any questions come up, but we did have Maria de Jesus saying hello. So thanks for saying hi. But yeah, we look forward to seeing the different plans that you all implement for the 2022 elections. I know it seems so far away, but really it's just around the corner and time flies in that kind of work. So we look forward to continuing our partnership and hearing more from the elections commissions as time goes on.
Likewise, I look forward to keep working with you all and all of the community partners out there. So can't wait for 2022 really, so that we can implement some of these new plans and new strategies we want to do.
Awesome. Well, have a great day, Jonathan. Thank you so much.
You as well.
And
Bye,
we'll talk
everyone.
soon. And again, any comments that you have, even though we are no longer talking with Jonathan, we have a great relationship and we can reach out with any specific questions you may have. So feel free to comment anytime at any moment, whatever your questions may be or concerns as well. And we have some links in the comments for you as well that link to the Elections Commission website that will show election results and upcoming elections and a bunch of information that might be interesting to you. Also, feel free to follow that link and look at those websites. And with that, I will go ahead and play a video, or actually I'll bring on Marlene and she can play the video and let us know any updates that she has for us. It's been a while since I've been on live with her, so I love that she's coming on.
Thank you so much, Gabe.
For sure.
All right, so a lot of us kind of are wondering, how is it that the COVID virus changes, right? How can a virus mutate and how can it change and become a different type of the same virus? So I have a video for you guys here that's going to kind of explain how that happens. And then I'm going to give you some COVID vaccine updates and where Wisconsin currently is with how many people are currently vaccinated. So let me share this video. My apologies. I thought the video had sound, but I guess it doesn't. So if the producer can kind of put the video on in a way where I can also speak over it. So essentially what causes a virus to change? So inside a virus, there are molecules called nucleotides, which form different combinations. Imagine a bike lock, but each wheel has 4 options, A, C, G, U. Now imagine the lock has 30,000 wheels. That's the entire genome sequence of the virus. Each time the virus spreads, it copies this sequence. But every now and then, as it copies, wheels in the sequence can slip. Most of the time, these tiny variations don't alter how the virus works. Sometimes the variations make combos that don't work. This makes the virus a little bit weaker, and these strains tend to die out. And sometimes the variations can make the virus a tiny bit stronger, better at transmitting, or more resistant to the immune system. These strains can thrive. The good news is that current COVID-19 vaccines are designed so that in most cases they will work against new variants. And researchers are working on ways to alter the composition of vaccines to cover possible new COVID strains. So that's kind of how it works. I hope that made sense. I think using the lock combination example really helps understand that better, and the way to understand how DNA and all of those genomes work. So it slips, and then you have new combinations of DNA that arise, and then the ones that are stronger are the ones to survive. So when it slips, that's a mutation. And when those mutations realize, like, oh, I can survive against their immune system, those are the ones that stay alive and they get passed around, right? And so those are the ones that, are resistant to a lot of antibiotics, and they're resistant to a lot of other things. And so that's why it's important to get your COVID vaccine so you become immune to those new strains that come around. So let me share now. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking at here, which is the COVID-19 data tracker. So this is going to show us like all of the different vaccines all of the amount of vaccines, right? So when you look at this site, and I'll put that in the comments as well. So currently in the USA, the total amount of vaccines administered is 209 million. And so that gives you like an idea, right? The amount of total doses delivered is 264 million around, give or take, and then 209 million have been administered. Those that have only taken one dose is 131 million, and those that are currently fully vaccinated is 84 million. So the total population of those that are currently fully vaccinated is 25% of the entire United States. For those that are ages, those that are ages 18 and up, we have 83 million that are vaccinated, and then those that are under and then the percentage of that is 32.5% of the population. And then those that are 65 years old of age and up, you have 36 million individuals fully vaccinated. 44 million only have the one dose. And then the percent of the population for those that are 65 and older that are vaccinated is 65.9% of the entire United States. So that really gives you, an idea of how many people are currently vaccinated. And, there so many vaccines have been distributed and given out to individuals that, again, it is very, very rare that you will have a major side effect from these vaccines. And so, as you can see, there's such a high percentage of the United States that's currently fully vaccinated. Around 25% of people in the United States are fully vaccinated. Think about it. 84 million people in the United States are fully vaccinated. And, the percentage of those people that had some sort of reaction is way less than 1% of the entire population. Not even 1%. So yeah, that was from the CDC's site. We'll put that in the chat for you guys, but I hope that gives people a better idea of how many people have been fully vaccinated in the US. And so just to reiterate, the vaccines are safe and you shouldn't be worried when you go get your vaccine. And Pfizer and Moderna are very reliable vaccines, so please go get vaccinated.
Thank you, Marlene. And again, those comments or those links are in the comment section, both to register to get your vaccine and then to access the information that Marlene was just sharing for us. And I am also going to share my screen to talk about Project Cleaning Green. So this happens every year. It's a time where you can get excess garbage and waste picked up outside of your designated garbage can. So I'll share my screen and show you that website so you can have a better idea of what are the restrictions and what times you can expect to be able to do that. So I'll go straight to the map. For right now, Zone 2, so Zone 2 is orange. That is who is this week gonna have their garbage pickup for this extra big garbage pickup. So this is, you can have up to 6 cubic yards, which is essentially a couch, a sofa. So if you have yard waste that you have in paper bags, if you have just, you're cleaning out furniture and things like that, you can put that out on the edge of your driveway or at the line of your alley as you would typically, and you can get that stuff picked up. So Zone 2 here, it's kind of a funky division. So a lot of people that are in our district are in Zone 2, but a lot of them are also in Zone 4. So this upper boundary is about Pierce Street up here, and then it's a lot of the eastern part of the south side. This is probably 6th Street right here, and this is 27th Street. So some of that chunk is in Zone 4. But then this is Oklahoma right here. And so a lot of Zone 2 is south of Oklahoma. But let's go and take a look at what is all included in this. So we have, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, here we go. So Project Cleaning Green, it's a citywide program designated to foster neighborhood pride and ownership through coordinated cleanup. Collection crews will target one zone each week from April 12th to May 21st. So the orange one, Zone 2, is where we're at right now. It will collect up to 6 cubic yards per dwelling of unwanted furniture, mattresses, household items, and garden or yard debris in paper yard waste bags. So items that aren't accepted, I just want to emphasize this, is that they don't pick up appliances or electronics, tires, TVs, no computers, printers, scanners, or tablets, no construction debris, no paint or paint thinner, or things like motor oil and hazardous waste. So if for things like that, you would have to take that to the drop-off centers, and you can get more information on those through this link here. And again, there's the map. And the cool thing about this is you can also look up when your next garbage pickup is. So this additional waste pickup happens the day of your normal garbage pickup. So say, for example, I just put in the Southside Organizing Center's address. We can see when it will be for us over there. So the address was located. It tells us when our next scheduled garbage pickup is, which is Thursday, April 22nd. But then if you scroll all the way down, it specifies your clean and green week. So for us in that area, it's May 3rd through 7th. But if you are, not sure if you're Zone 2 or Zone 4 and you want to make sure, you can check your address through this website. That's in the links. But yeah, it's a really cool thing, especially as we're, doing spring cleanups and clearing out our houses. It's just a cool thing to be able to do. Let me see if there's any questions about that. And we'll also be making a Facebook post about this. But yeah, no questions. And I just want to let you all know who's coming up for the rest of this week. So we're going to have on Wednesday, Maria Watts from WIDA coming on to talk about home lending services. And then on Thursday, we have Jonatan Zuniga, who's from 16th Street Clinic. He's the vaccine manager. And then we're also on Friday, hopefully going to have someone from the Latina Resource Center to let us know about their services, especially keeping in mind that we are still in Sexual Assault Awareness Month. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and we want to uplift some services for people who may need them. And that's it for this week. We've got some great guests coming up, so you'll want to stay tuned. And again, please fill out our survey as well to let us know how this forum is doing. Let us know what topics you'd like to hear about. Let us know any feedback you have, good or bad. We would love to hear from you because this forum is really for you all. And I will leave you with a promo for that survey, and we will see you back on the forum tomorrow.
Has this live forum been informative and useful to you? What part of the forum could be improved or changed to make it better? Please take a quick survey that's located in the comments section so that we can keep 3 o'clock with SOC going for residents. Thank you for tuning in.